Hey everyone, it's Todd from Guild Games with another dev log, part 7 for Shrouded Aspect. I'm super excited about some of the progress that's been done in the last couple of weeks. I added a new river or new water system, which includes river support for flowing water, and I think it looks really nice here. In addition, this is showing a new group movement, real-time movement mode. So basically, when you're in a scenario and there's no enemies detected, it goes into real-time movement mode for the group. So whoever you have selected, you move them, and then the rest of the group automatically follows them, and you can just keep going as far as you want until you run into another enemy, and then it goes back into turn-based mode. So that's pretty neat. Makes it a lot easier to get around the map when you're searching for treasure or something. So I added some new death animation stuff. I was trying out some ragdoll stuff before, but I was really having problems with getting it to look good, so I ended up going with more baked death animations, and I wanted to make sure that they always fell down into the tile that they were already standing in. So part of that was for at least for humanoid shaped monsters or characters, that they would kind of stumble back a little bit, like to the back edge of their the tile that they're in, and then fall forward when they die. And that just kind of shows it here. And there's now a blood pool that comes out from underneath some of the creatures when they're dead. And another cool thing that this shows is raising. There's a skill that you can raise a skeletal warrior from corpses that are on the ground. So you can kill a zombie and then use that zombie corpse to raise a skeletal warrior. Or you could really, if one of the people in your party dies, you could raise a skeletal warrior from their body. It doesn't really matter who, as long as it's a corpse there. I added a lot more improvements to the water effects in the cemetery scenario. Now the ground actually looks more wet. You can see kind of reflections of everything on the wet stones and the brick paths. And now I got triggers working so that when you go by certain things like these graves, these shallow graves, then skeletal warriors will climb out of the graves and attack you. So that's a pretty neat thing. That's just one example of how triggers will be used. And also I added the kind of like the mini boss, I guess, for this scenario is the banshee that you have to defeat that's haunting this cemetery. And I thought it was pretty cool how I was able to use the Unity cloth physics system to let the cloth kind of blow around in the wind, and that combined with all the rain effects, and you got rain splatters on the ground now when they hit, and the reflections and everything. It's really coming together really well. I'm happy with how it looks. I added the icons that show whether each character has a buff or a debuff or some kind of effect on them, so you can point at it and see the tooltip down where the skill tooltips and descriptions go. It's basically the same idea, except it's for an effect that's on a character instead of a skill that you will cast. And that's about it for this episode. It's super quick to go through and show these things. I don't want to drag them out any longer than they need to be. I know some of the earlier ones were kind of long, and I want to really just kind of show the progress real quick. So if you're really interested in this kind of project, tell your friends, and don't forget that I have a Patreon if you're interested in that, but more importantly, subscribe and like the video and tell your friends. And pretty soon the Steam page is going to be coming out very soon. I need to make some screenshots, which I'll probably take from some of these before I want to make it public. But then once it's public, people can start adding to the wish list or whatever. So, okay, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.